Power is a new superhero drama that is directed by Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman. If you don't know who they are, they also directed a film called Nerve a few years ago with Dave Franco. The screenplay for this movie was also written by Mattson Tomlin. If you don't know who that is, I would say keep your eyes out and pay attention to The Batman directed by Matt Reeves next year, because Tomlin co-wrote that movie with Matt Reeves. So you'll see some of his work soon enough involving The Dark Knight on the big screen. So this film stars Jamie Foxx, it stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Dominique Fishback, and is a movie about a new drug that has hit the streets in New Orleans that gives the people who take the drug superpowers. The great thing about the superpowers in this drug is that it gives you a random superpower. You have no idea what kind of superpower you're going to get, but also these drugs have a limited life expectancy. You only get 5 minutes per superpower. Jamie Foxx's character stars as an ex-military guy, I guess, who is trying to find somebody very close to him who has been taken by, he believes, the people who are behind this drug. So he's trying to go up the ladder and track down the people who made this drug and get them to give back his, his person that he's looking for. With Dominique Fishback's character, she plays a character named Robin. She's a dealer on the streets. He gets mixed up with her trying to track down these people, and then eventually Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who plays a New Orleans cop, gets roped into it too. So what we have is a story where all three of them come together and they're trying to figure out who is running this drug, who's the person at the top who's calling all the shots. That's basically what the movie is. The premise and the concept of this movie is really cool, despite the fact that there are definitely elements of this movie that you feel like have been taken from a bunch of other movies over the years. You got a movie like Push back in 2009 with Chris Evans. You've obviously got, hell, you could go X-Men level shit like The Gifted on the Fox channel. And a movie I think that came out this year called Code 8 that had the Amell brothers. Was it this year or was it last year? Am I losing my mind, or is 2020 really that long? Like 2020 just feels like the longest month ever. I can't even remember if that movie came out this year. I think it did, and I think I reviewed it, but I'm not entirely sure. The fact that it's a random superpower and you don't know which one you're going to get until you actually take the pill reminds me of a Harry Potter concept. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Is it Bertie Blotz or Bertie Bott's Every Flavor Beans? Is that what it is?
Did I just butcher the name? Forgive me, it's been a few years since I read those books, but in that one you eat beans and you don't know which flavor bean you're going to get. And so you could get one that tastes like strawberry, or you could get one that tastes like a booger or poop or something. Like, you just never know what flavor you're going to get. And so that was the whole concept behind that, and it's basically the same thing here with these superpowers.
I also like the actors and I like the characters. I like Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is such a charismatic actor. He does a great job in this movie. He really brings that badass charisma that you need for a role like this. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm glad to see Joseph is getting back into acting. He was really good in 7500, which is an Amazon Prime movie that came out earlier this year, and he's really good also in this one. He is playing a cop, which you've seen a bunch of times before, but he does good. He does good for what he's asked to do in this movie. I would actually say the standout of the movie is probably Dominique Fishback. She was my favorite character, and she gave one of the best performances in the entire movie. In fact, she was such a likable character that in hindsight, you can't help but wonder, like, maybe she should have been like the focal point around which the entire movie revolved. Visually, this is a good-looking movie with some solid cinematography. I would say that the action sequences are definitely going to be a highlight for a lot of people. Similar to the way that they shot Nerve, this film has a lot of fast-moving camera work. There's a lot of frenetic and kinetic energy that is teeming within every shot in the frames of this movie. That leads to a lot of quick edits, some quick cuts, maybe a little bit of shaky cam. So some of that is kind of edited to make it look like the violence is not as violent as it is, even though it is a rated R movie and they do show that violence sometimes. So that was a little bit confusing. Overall, if you're looking for entertaining and visually solid action sequences and you're looking for some cool display of power in this movie, definitely this movie has that. And there's enough of it spread throughout the runtime that I think most people are going to be entertained by that. You hear the name Henrietta Lacks, like, look that shit up, man. It's kind of a cool thing that they did, giving a nod to her in this movie. While I like the premise and I like the concept and I was somewhat entertained by the movie, I think that a lot of it was wasted on a very generic and cliche and predictable story that didn't really bring anything new or exciting to the table. The biggest problem I have with this movie is Jamie Foxx and the whole reason for his backstory, like the whole thing that is motivating him in the movie. I think the movie did a very poor job at getting you to feel invested or getting you to care about what he cared about in this movie. Like, I get it. I get why he's doing what he's doing. I get why he's going after these people, but the movie never makes you really care. It doesn't really flesh out that relationship. It doesn't flesh out that backstory. The thing they do flesh out in the movie is his relationship with Dominique Fishback's character. You care more about that and you're more invested in that, and I'll just say this without spoilers, the way that they tie all of that up, it just feels kind of unsatisfactory. There is one CGI moment in this movie that is just kind of whew, is pretty bad. I mean, if you've seen Black Panther and you've seen the ending of that movie, I mean, fair warning. Villains in this movie, you can't even really call them villains. They're just a waste of oxygen, a waste of space. They're a black hole, a waste of time. They're just, you don't care about them. Just bad guys that are in the movie because the movie needs there to be bad guys. Even them, they feel like kind of a waste of space and sometimes a little bit over the top for what this movie was going for.
Normally I'd talk about the abandoned subplots in this movie, but let's just abandon that critique for now.
In the end, while I liked Project Power, I can't highly recommend this one. I'm gonna leave this one in the Fortress of Solitude. Definitely entertaining, but could have been better. Tell me, have you seen Project Power? What did you think about it? Give me your thoughts on the movie in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.